We're live.
Live.
On YouTube. Cool. We're going live on everything here. Oh no. Whoa, cancel. Okay, all right. We're live on Instagram. I'm going to try to see if we can capture this. Okay. Look at that. We're live together. Yeah. Boom.
Yeah, we can touch each
Either
other.
or.
And the camera.
I wonder if we could join live feeds.
Each other?
But then the noise, people would be so confused because they'd hear each of us in both live feeds. But you know, you can join them together.
Yeah.
We'll do that some other time. So, before we begin, 3, 2, 1, and we're officially live. What's up, everyone? I'm Logan Aldridge. You're hearing It's Just a Podcast. Welcome back. It's been a long time since we had an episode. We've got Victor, Castro, Asaf. I don't know, dude. You got 40 names.
No, it's like 4. It's like 2 names and it's the last name.
Victor Castro. That's what we know you as. That's what we saw on the CrossFit Games. That's the official last name you need to stick to.
Oh, yes.
You've got so many.
I think so, yeah.
What's up, dude? Good to see you. Glad you're here.
Yeah,
We've been living together for quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
So, normally you get on a podcast and you're like, you have all these questions because it's a new person you haven't talked to or you have a topic to discuss. But we have a lot to discuss, but we also have been with each other nonstop for the past 2 months. Yeah. So long overdue to get back on the podcast. If you're tuning in live, thanks for being here. Ask any questions you want. We're going to be on here for a little while. We'll try to check in and answer any questions if you ask them. But want to use this time to, first of all, tell the listeners a little bit about who you are, Vic, and then also our experience, man. What the hell has been going on the past 2 months? Everything from us meeting up in Florida, making Beatdown, and then training after that competition, leading up to the CrossFit Games, and a crazy experience. So we're going to recap all that. We're going to go over all the workouts.
This is a lot, actually.
Yeah, man. But to start, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about where you're from and what you're doing here, what you think about the United States?
Well, like you said, hey, people, my name is Victor Asaf, or Victor Castro now that it's officially on the games.
Mm-hmm.
Well, being here has been quite an experience.
Where are you from? Where are you coming from?
Come on. I'm from Latin America. I'm from Ecuador.
There we go.
I think a lot of people know that.
Born in the Galapagos, right?
Yeah, that's what my ID says.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a beautiful island, and I think that everybody should meet and get there.
Yes, I want to go there one day for sure. That's why I've been hosting you this long, so that I can come down there and there's no questions.
You're
as to
more than invited. Man.
Yeah, as to my guest spot. So I appreciate that. So quite a different scene. What were you doing down there in Ecuador? I mean, I know obviously I know quite a bit what you're doing, but tell the folks what was going on.
Well, I was coaching. I was getting ready for the games. I was opening my gym. I was just starting to get into that a little bit more with this pandemic situation now that we're living on. Pretty much that, man. I was living about doing CrossFit, coaching. I got this little clothing brand, and I was doing that too.
Yeah.
Pretty much that, man.
You were living and breathing it.
Yeah, focusing on the games and just doing.
So this is your training and competing in CrossFit is your full-time focus.
Full-time.
And so down there, you were coaching and running classes, running programs at Kalpa, right?
It was a Kalpa, yeah. And I was also opening my own gym.
And then you're opening your own. Yes, that's what I was seeing. And that was called what?
Matsoya Fitness.
Matsoya Fitness. So that was going on. When did you start to open?
Well, I have 2 months here, so it's probably 4 months ago.
4 months ago. So
yeah.
you're just getting going.
I was
with
getting, yes.
opening up your own gym, getting equipment, getting a few members, and then this summer competition season opened up for us from this pandemic. So the Bacon Beatdown, which is a competition down in Florida, Daytona Beach, Florida. It's pretty big. There's like maybe 2,000 athletes that go, 1,500 or so, decent size event. And you decided to come from Ecuador to come to that one to compete.
Yeah, I was so excited to meet you guys. I mean, it's been quite a while, so I was more than ready to just throw down and have fun and see you guys throw down. You know, it's been man. It's been quite a while.
That's what that was the sole reason I wanted to go to that as well. I mean, I was so grateful to go because Wheelwad got to implement the adaptive division, and so definitely wanted to go and represent and participate. But man, we've spent a year and a half in lockdown, like only training in the garage. So I know we were all eager in this community, especially of CrossFitters and then of adaptive CrossFitters. We were eager to get back together, meet up in Florida. And there were some good events there. And it was honestly, we knew that we were going to the CrossFit Games to compete at the end of July. And this was like the beginning of June. So we knew it was a good time to get some experience.
Yeah, it was a good measure of it, I think.
Yeah. So we went there. Oh my God, we got to talk about what happened there. So that didn't go as well as planned for you, would you say?
Like it used to be.
Yeah, man.
Until these games.
Yeah. Thank God this games. But so give some context to the listeners. How long you've been CrossFitting, first of all?
Well, I've been CrossFitting now for 11 years, almost 12 years now.
Almost 12 years, crazy. So Victor is very much what they call like an OG, original gangster in this CrossFit space. Been doing it a long time. And back then, you loved strongman specifically, or
no, actually
CrossFit.
But CrossFit purely entirely CrossFit. But there was this opportunity to go and compete as a strongman. And I was getting ready for it. I was training for it. I remember it was a new, different experience.
Different kind of world, picking up heavy things.
Yeah, it was so different.
All the time.
This odd carry thing, odd lifting. So I wasn't used to that. But
because those are like the pictures I see that you post of when you had two arms is like fucking axle bar presses overhead or something,
and all that.
But it looks all like strongman stuff.
Yeah, it was.
You're doing a lot of those competitions as well.
I was also looking a lot of watching a lot of videos.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Before we get back to the Bacon Beatdown. Okay. So yeah, you've been CrossFitting a long time.
Yes.
Over 10 years.
Yes.
You know these movements. You've been on a barbell a long. You love the barbell. You're really good on the barbell. And then when did your accident happen? And what happened?
Okay, my accident happened in 2012. It was a motorcycle accident. I was 19, 20, maybe. I don't even remember how old I was. Maybe 20, 21.
Okay.
22.
Yeah.
I hit a light pole. I lost the control of the motorcycle because I was going too fast. I hit a light pole and I hit against the light pole. Yeah, and I hit my shoulder or my arm. I don't know how it was, but I hit it so hard that I had a brachial plexus injury, so I completely lost the function of my arm.
Yeah,
and I mean, that was.
It wasn't like
that was something.
I've heard you tell this story or some details of it. Was it like a big part of your outcome, your injury only being brachial plexus because you were an athlete, because you were strong, like? It could have killed you.
Yes. I was pretty big at that time. I was 200 pounds. Actually.
200. Yeah.
I was pretty big.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that helped me survive the accident.
Yeah.
Also, I think that maybe the worst that I said before hitting that light pole was if I hit this, I'm not gonna die here.
Oh, really?
Yes,
That's what your thought was right before hitting it.
Yeah, those were my last thoughts. I think I said it.
Okay, well, I won't die.
Yes, I mean, if I hit this, I'm not gonna die. Like, fuck no. And
was it like you saw it coming? You're like, oh shit,
yes,
shit, I'm about to hit this.
I felt that because I was coming through a bridge, and then there was this other like small bridge, and it was a turn, like a very big turn, and it was a very aggressive turn.
Yeah.
And I was coming so fast that I lost control of it, and
the
motorcycle was pushing me to the right side.
Right.
And I was trying to push it with my body to the left side, so it wasn't going as I was planning.
Dang. So you just kind of started to slide out on the outside of the turn.
I started to slide, and then I lost control of it. I tried to control it. When I bring my head up and I see this light pole in front of me, I just moved my head. Yes, I got to move my head. That was pretty much my
save your brain.
My only reaction.
Exactly. Don't die. Don't smash your brain.
Exactly. So
are you wearing a helmet?
Yes. A helmet, gloves, jacket, everything.
Yeah.
But still,
it
was
fast.
I was going
moving.
Yes, I was going pretty fast.
Whew.
So, brachial plexus injury. They pulled me in a coma for 5 days.
Coma.
Yes.
Medically induced.
Yes, medically induced. Yeah. I broke my jaw in 3 different parts. I broke a lot of teeth. I mean, it was pretty hard.
So then what was that recovery to get out of the hospital? How long did that take?
It took me, 20, 21 days.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I was like 5-6 days in the ICU.
Yep.
And after that, I was in a room,
Yeah, normal room, just checking recovery, making sure everything's going
on. My family and friends checking in and all that.
Right.
And I was super emotional, actually.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. And plus, I was sleeping so much, because of all this medication and all that.
The drugs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't remember much, but I remember feeling super vulnerable, like different, like it wasn't me.
Right.
I was very swollen, and I was the only thing that I was thinking was, because I was a pretty, I don't know how to say it, but I was very vanidoso, like
very much like the man in the room, like the athlete or the guy
that
had a presence.
I had a big ego.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't
macho mentality.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I was, I was always looking in the mirror and looking at myself, and I was like, I look so good, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I want all the, I was thinking,
go.
So that was
you weren't struggling with confidence.
Oh hell no. Hell no.
There you go. So this was like obviously, I mean, to anyone, humbling experience.
100%.
This reality.
I wasn't humbled, like
wake up check.
Not even 1%.
Right. I say that too. My accident happened so young at 13, so it's hard to send that, to really convey that message. But I was very much the kid stealing candy bars from gas stations and going down a path of like imagining being a rebel and like being this badass guy was cool.
Yeah.
Thinking all that was really cool.
That was me.
And yes, and then and so it sounds like very similar. Like the accident is this massive wake up call.
Yeah.
It's just this realization, like, oh my, I'm not shit, and I could die at any moment, and I should be a little more thankful and grateful to people around me.
Yeah, and also think about like why you're living here. I mean, what is the thing that you I mean, what's the message that you're getting? You want people to get if you're not here,
right?
Like,
right?
One more day, and I was, oh fuck no,
right?
It was being shit to everyone.
Yeah, it's scary to be like, dang, how would I have been remembered if that was my last?
Yeah, like a shitty person, like a shitty person. Because even being a coach, because being a coach, you have this responsibility of it being a
supporting people,
and well-being.
Yes.
But I was completely opposite. I mean, I was like, man, you understand this? Well, fuck off then.
Yeah,
like,
just hard, just hard.
Yeah, get out of here.
Dang. Yeah.
Get out. Like literally, get out of here.
Well, I always say that it's incredible to look at, like, events that happen in our life that are tragic or unfortunate, especially in that time. But it's always interesting to reflect and look back and think that these things are up. I always say my accident, that thing never happened to me, and it sounds like yours in a way is absolutely the best thing that ever happened to you too.
Completely, yeah.
It changes your life, and
Completely,
it changes
100%.
your lens in which you look at life through. So that's cool to hear. I knew a lot of that, but that's the most I've heard you explain your story. So that's good to hear. I'm glad the listeners got to hear.
Oh
that
yeah,
too.
I mean it's the truth, man.
Yeah,
People gotta hear this.
Yes. And then after you get out of the hospital, what was it? How long until you were like, all right, how am I going to figure this stuff out? I like this CrossFit stuff.
Wow, it took me 8 months to a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't expecting, I wasn't expecting that much from it.
Like, you weren't maybe expecting to excel or thrive. You were just like,
I was like, oh,
I want to try
I just don't want to be
one-handed
bad.
stuff. Yeah.
I just don't want to be like this guy that just completely forgot about himself and just, surrender about what happened. Because that's not me. That's not my attitude. That's not how I am. I'm literally this soul, like rebel soul that everyone says, no, you cannot do that. So I will go and try that.
Right. Right.
And
exactly.
I've been like that since I was a little kid.
Yes. Yes.
And you can change nature.
Yeah.
You can do that. Yeah, it's impossible. So the first thing that they said to me was, well, you can't do this anymore. You got to find something to do because you don't have an arm anymore. I mean, it's not functional. Mm-hmm. So you cannot do it. Mm-hmm. So, it was hard at the beginning. It was like, oh, hell, what am I going to do now? So, I got sunk in a lot of painkillers and I lost a lot of weight. I was from 200 pounds. I was weighing 140.
Wow. Yeah. Lost a ton of weight.
I wasn't eating.
Yeah.
I wasn't just like
medications do, man.
Yes,
they mess you up.
I completely lost it.
Yeah.
Until I just woke up one time and I started looking in the mirror and I said, well, this cannot be happening. My whole family is coming down with me.
Yeah.
Just because I'm like this. So I got this big responsibility of not bringing everybody up, but bringing myself up. So that's going to be a big change just for me. So I wasn't thinking like that at that time.
Right.
I was thinking just like, well, if my arm's not going to move, so what the hell with it? I got to do things for me.
Right.
I'm not going to stay in bed.
Right.
That's not me. So
exactly.
I got out of bed. I told Mauri, it's my little brother, hey man, you want to go trade with me? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
You want to do what? You want to go where?
He was a little scared that he wanted to go do something.
Hey, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Hell this.
Yes.
And I was like, hell, okay, let's go, man.
Yeah.
The first thing that I did was, I don't remember if it was squat or burpees and swings, snatches and swings. It's the only thing that I couldn't think at that moment.
Grab a kettlebell
or a dumbbell and start doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I started doing that for what? Like the first experience CrossFitting with one arm, it was hard because I was sunk on pills.
Well, you're just coming back from drug recovery and all that stuff in your system.
And it was pretty hard, but it felt amazing.
Yeah. So were you at Cal? Like, were you in the gym before?
No, I wasn't at Cal. I wasn't
were you in the
gym that I was working? It was
okay.
It wasn't affiliated. It was called Go Entrenamiento Urbano. It was urban training.
Gotcha. But it was like a gym with a.
It was a CrossFit gym. With a lot of members, a lot of people.
So the reason I asked is because I feel like half of what felt so amazing about it was just doing that, like going back and being in a gym with people, especially your brother.
Dude, people call me Ghost. Like, hey man, you're a ghost.
Yes, right.
What? Not a ghost, man.
Right.
But
to be back though,
I'm here.
Is the mental health that comes with that after you've been isolated and told can't do this, can't do this.
I was actually acting like an automatic human being.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking, okay, I'm going to do this to prove this.
No.
Right. It was just like, the hell it is. I'm not gonna stay in bed. I just want to do this because.
Yes, for sure.
And that escalated pretty quickly.
Yes. That is so cool to hear because I think, frankly, like that's what I've always talked about in terms of the expectations that I had people set. I think that we all do especially when you experience some trauma event like this. All the doctors said, and it's so interesting to compare my experience to yours because it's so similar. And I think the only thing that makes a difference is the age. And like me being 13 and you being 20, 21 or whatever. Like had I been that age, I totally believe that I would have become victim to the pain pills that they would have given me and all that. Because at 13, I didn't know what like feeling, fucked up felt like, or like feeling like high on a little something. So all I interpreted as was like, that makes me feel funny. Like I just, oh my gosh, that makes me feel weird, Mom. I don't want to take those Oxycontins anymore.
Exactly.
And I'm so thankful that that is my interpretation at that age. Because I'll tell you what though, they learned that like I don't do well with morphine, like the normal thing for like pain, but Dilaudid, which is like another version of it, I do really well. They put that in like my IV thing, and I felt every bone in my body just like relax. That's the one drug where I was like, do not ever let me get my hands on this stuff. Holy shit, this just puts you out. But yeah, you get out, and everybody tells you, every doctor, every therapist is like, well, you had to, and you lost your dominant arm, right? You were right-handed?
Oh, yeah, I was right-handed.
Yeah, you were right-handed. I was left-handed. So similar. Our stories are so similar in this.
It's crazy. It's so crazy.
In this scenarios that unfold, because you're exactly the same thing. Like I was told, you won't ride again, Logan. You need a laptop. You'll need, lacrosse. Oof, no way. Like that's it's 2 arms. You can't do that anymore.
Best.
Well, it's the same reason. Like you're saying, it was automatic. It wasn't like this mindset of okay, everyone's telling me, okay, and then writing this list of things I can't do and going and checking them off. It wasn't that. It's just, and this is what I explain when I give speeches. I'm like, it's a snowball effect. It's this momentum of like psychological encouragement in yourself. No one else can give it to you. No one else can say good things. It's waking up in the morning, being like, all right, this arm's, for your instance, paralyzed. It's got, okay, so how am I gonna take a shower? Okay, how am I gonna brush my teeth? Okay, how am I going to make breakfast? And you like do these things and they build up. You're like, oh shit, all right, breakfast wasn't that hard to make. Okay, shower wasn't that bad. So then you get the confidence to be like, well, CrossFit's CrossFit. Let me just go figure it out.
Exactly.
That is really cool to hear. So, okay, we could talk about this for hours, but I want to get back to talking about where we are now and what was going on now, and what has happened since then, since your accident and everything. So, before we do though, just to wrap up where you are now from where you were when your accident happened almost, how many years ago?
8, 9,
almost 9 years ago. So brachial plexus injury, arm paralyzed, that means it's either just dangling, hanging on your side, or a sling across your body.
Both.
And I have seen a lot of guys will wear the sling, but it literally just looks like, those like little things you throw over your shoulder that your elbow just sits in. And then you would use in fitness, like a whole Velcro strap around your torso to pull that arm to your body. And it's basically like wearing a weight vest.
Exactly. We had that with my mom.
So she started making those to help keep that arm closed.
She's one hell of a woman.
Yeah. Moms are, dude.
Oh, yes, man. And shout out to my mom.
Yes. Mi madre.
But yeah, man, we were like thinking this stuff and seeing like, oh man, how do I do this? I mean, I don't want to break my fingers. I don't want to break my arm because I'm not going to feel this.
Right. Yeah. You're just dropping on the hurt.
Yeah. So we came with this, with this sling and this Velcro thing.
Yeah.
And it became a thing. So.
And you used that for 5-6 years?
For yes, almost a decade.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then that started to. So the coolest part about all this is, this was the momentum, the movement of adaptive CrossFit. So many other guys in the brachial plexus category specifically started doing the same thing. Started trying to think about like one guy was Jeremy Ogle, old Jeremy Ogle was using like a backpack and like sticking his arm in the straps in the backpack to keep it on, and would literally duct tape his arm to the backpack. So it was really cool to see you find these solutions and then how quickly they got adopted.
Yes, and you started everyone, man, every single one of them.
Every harness looked the same. Every strap, every Velcro strap around started looked the same.
And it's so easy, man.
Game changer, right?
It's so easy. So if you were watching this, or if you later you will watch this. I will be selling those in a few months.
Okay.
So wait for it.
Okay.
Wait for it.
There we go. All you brachial plexus folks out there, Victor will have a solution for you. So you had that solution and that was working well, and then
Yes.
you decided to amputate the arm.
I decided to amputate the arm because I was suffering a lot of pain. Also, because of my sport, or what I was my activity, or CrossFitting, basically. I was starting to feel this back pain and having this rotation pain. And
I'm sure.
It was becoming almost like a syndrome. So the whole reason of it's because I wanted to have a better life.
Yeah.
Not because of, I mean, doing fitness was a big option. That was a big part of it, but also having a decent way of living and being comfortable with myself and feeling this sense of being free.
Yeah. Do you wish you'd done it sooner?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I actually thought about it, but because of my mom, I didn't do it because she was like, no, wait, there's just gonna, a solution's gonna come,
Right.
Something's gonna happen and you just gotta wait. So she was looking at me with the small eyes and, we were all the love, but still. So 4 years later, I told her, hey, I'm gonna look for the doctor. I'm gonna talk with the insurance guys and all that. So just let me handle this. And if you want to be there, I would love you forever. And if not, it's the same thing.
Of course.
It's just this is my thing.
Yeah.
This is my life.
And it's made things a lot easier, huh?
100%.
Yeah.
Just living.
That's
better.
So there's like 5 guys we know in this adaptive CrossFit space who have done the same thing. Brachial plexus injuries, end up deciding to get it. There's a guy in my gym here in Raleigh, Shane.
Oh,
Shane Hakes, did the same thing. Elected amputation because of the arm's paralyzed.
Yeah.
And, not just like mildly paralyzed with a lot of lift or like elbow flexion or extension.
Totally.
Just it's a paralyzed
Same.
limb. So I always wondered that. I never influenced or I never tried to encourage it. I was like, because obviously I'm an amputee, but I have that native anatomy.
Yeah.
I have full function above my amputation. So I'm not. We're very similar but different.
Yes.
And I always saw like the brachial plexus folks, and I was like, I hope they're not doing it because they think it'll be like this. It'll help because I think it helps create like an anchor point
100%.
on like accessory work and stuff like that. And that's what I always thought. I was like, man, if I were that way, I would probably amputate, but I'm not. I'm the last person to have any statement or to go encourage people to amputate. Everybody's in their own space, their own mental
Neither
space.
do I. There's a lot of people asking me about that. Hey, how do you feel about after?
Yes.
surgery?
Should I do this too? Should I do this? Yeah.
I was like, hey man, this was my this was my decision. So
Yeah.
it's my life, and
Yes.
it's
You can speak
it's
to
what
your
I want.
experience.
Like, exactly.
Your experience is a very good one. And
Yeah.
frankly, every person I've heard who's had it done is like, I wish I'd done this sooner.
Oh yes.
But again, listeners, please do not take this as we're telling you to chop your arms off if you
No.
have a paralyzed one.
Don't.
Think about it. Think about it though.
Exactly.
But this brings up like I think about this for folks in wheelchairs with a lot of paralyzed folks. I'm like, what if they just chopped them off? Now we're getting down a rabbit hole that I don't want to talk about here, but these are the things that I think about sometimes. But we're just exposed to it. We see all different types of adaptive conditions, all different types of people. So my brain wanders sometimes and thinks about ways in which we could make life a little bit more functional. But anyways, now that the listeners have a little bit of understanding, background, how we've gotten here, how we've gotten to know each other through competition, all this stuff, the use of social media connects us together, and it's a pretty cool place to share training tips and techniques and equipment and stuff like that. But let's talk about some current event stuff that's been going on, stuff that's been happening since we've gotten together back in June for the Beatdown in Florida. So we get to the Bacon Beatdown in Florida. Super cool. A lot of adaptive athletes that I'd never met before in person decided to come and compete. So it was really great to see different divisions represented, different athletes in those divisions I've never met before from all over the country.
All over.
And really the world. So we got there to compete. It was a 3-day competition. First day had 3 events. Second day had 2. Or no, it was a 2-day competition, right? Yeah, it was 2 days.
Yes, 2 days.
2 days. Second day just had 2 events. So it wasn't a lot of volume, but it was fun. First couple events were just classic CrossFit, short, fast rounds of stuff. They went well. Third event. This event is epic on so many levels.
It is.
Victor has an epic story. I don't even know what camera to look at. We're looking at phones over here. We've got YouTube over here. Luckily, this is just a podcast, so don't worry too much about the camera. But, okay, third event of the day. We just done 2. We actually aren't feeling pretty fried. We're feeling pretty fresh. And it is in 5 minutes, establish a 1-rep max clean and jerk. Now, if you have followed me on Instagram or a lot of the sports networks, my freaking lift there went viral. And I haven't talked about this. I haven't been on a podcast or discussed it. But there's a lot that happened in that 5-minute window. A lot that was on camera that the world has seen and it's been shared in my lift. But a freaking crazy moment that happened with Victor. We're gonna briefly talk about it here because I think it's important to address. And then everything that unfolded after that. So this event was, Victor and I were talking about it. We went and got lunch before this event 3 at the Bacon Beatdown. And we knew the 5-minute window, 1-rep max clean and jerk. 2 years ago at the Wheelwad Games in Collingwood, Ontario, I had PR'd my clean and jerk at 200 pounds. That event was actually a 2-rep max. So it didn't get recorded as a legit rep, but it was on video. And that one was my glory moment. Never thought I would put 200 pounds overhead. So we come fast forward to this Bacon Beatdown event 3. We're about to do it. We're eating lunch. Victor and I are talking. We're like, yeah, man, I mean, 200, like in training, we've been able to get 200 overhead. Like, I think we should go for 205, 215. And so that was the game plan. And then I said to him, we were talking about it. I was like, dude, the idea, like if the progression of this load we're trying to put overhead, the idea is that this would get heavier and we'll just get better and fitter at this. But I was like, the idea of putting 225 overhead makes no sense. Like anatomically, like I'm 160, 165 pounds on a heavy day. And I know how I look compared to 225 pounds. And like, I don't understand how I should be able to balance that overhead. This is what we said right before that event.
We
literally said this.
Exactly the same thing.
I said I would never put that over my head. It just doesn't make sense, or it wouldn't be safe.
I remember I said that would be fucking amazing.
And he said, yeah, that would be amazing. And I was like, well, it probably won't ever happen. And then we go and start warming up. Weight feels pretty good. Get out on the floor. 5 minutes starts. We just begin. I think we open at 185.
185. We open at 185.
Open at 185. I honestly then got into like tunnel vision. For the next 4 minutes, Victor was like right in front of me to the right.
Yes.
But I never saw him. Never noticed him or saw him again for the rest of the lifts. So I hit 185. Did you hit 185?
I hit 185, yeah.
I went straight to 205.
Yes.
I went
to 195.
We went to 195.
Yeah.
I went 205. I hit 205. You hit 195? No, we'll get to this. This is where shit.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get to Victor's lift here in a moment. I think you went for it once and just missed, just a clean miss. And then I think you set up because anyway, so now I hit 205 and crowd goes wild. I go wild in my mind and in my heart because I'm
even that's a PR.
That's a PR. Yeah, Victor apparently was watching, but again, I apologize. I wasn't aware of anybody on the floor. Like I wasn't.
That's the way, man. That's competition.
It was the barbell, me, and then honestly, I'm a bit of a showman. It was the audience. I was like looking at them, and they were all like getting hyped. So I was like, oh, it's been too long. Haven't been in front of people, so this is the moment. So 205, a surprise, hit it, went well. I said, oh my gosh, we still have like 3 minutes. So I slapped 215 on there, hit that, couldn't believe it. Cheered, jumped up and down, crowd went crazy. That was it. I thought I was done. I was like, that is it.
That was 115?
215, right? Yeah. What a success.
Yes.
200 being the previous 15-pound PR. It's huge.
I also saw it.
And okay, thank you, appreciate it. And then I look at the clock, and there's like a little over a minute left, and I thought, here's the moment. We're here now. We're here now. Everyone is here watching. There are two, 5-pound plates sitting on either side of my bar. I was like, it's a good time to load it up. Let's see what happens. So we put those on. We got 225 on the bar. And I heard the announcer say, as long as that barbell's off the ground before the end, you're good. It counts. Right. So it was like 10 seconds left. I was like, all right, here we go. Let's clean it. Cleaned it. I thought it was going to feel a lot heavier than it did. It was like a power clean.
Yeah.
Like barely squatted.
Power clean.
And I was like, oh, and that moment, it was just maximum adrenaline. I could feel the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I still didn't think I had the lift, but I was like, I'm gonna
freaking solid.
I'm gonna bounce out of this dip so hard. And I went down and bounced up, went to that split, hit it, locked it out. Could not believe it. Started to celebrate there, which is a little bit of a no-no. Shouldn't do that. Started to freak out and celebrate there. Luckily stood it up, stood tall, and then dropped it. And that moment was insane. The crowd went wild. It was 5. I was literally in the front rack on the dip. There were 3, 2, 1, and it ended right when it went overhead. Was so thankful that somebody caught it on video and got to capture that moment. Okay, so that's me tooting my own horn. Enough of that. I was very, very grateful for that moment, though.
That was amazing.
In that 5 minutes, Victor almost fucking killed himself. I mean, this is funny, but now that we can laugh at it, but and I guess it wasn't the moment because I didn't even know what happened. But looking back at it immediately after, I was like, holy shit, Victor. So, Victor, man, you have unfortunately had some bad luck when it comes to previous competitions. Like in a heat of a moment, it just something doesn't, or even like traveling to try to get to a competition.
Yeah, I remember.
And issues with a visa or something out of your control. And it's always so unfortunate. And this event is why I was so excited, why we were talking about it before, because I was like, this is the event where we go out here and crush. And there is no better lifter than Victor. I just try to emulate him, and I get lucky in competitions a lot more than he does. But he's the most explosive barbell lifter. Like everybody, if you lift and you do CrossFit, Olympic weightlifting, triple extension, all that stuff, and into that hip pocket and all that. Well, he does that flawlessly. And I make a ton of excuses as to why I don't do that, because I'm just one-arm lifter and my anatomy length and all this stuff. But there really is no excuse. And he does it the best. And he's the most explosive under the bar. Nobody gets under it faster. So it's incredible to watch him in these lifts. So in this event, it was 185 went well, got it up, no problem.
Yeah, 185 went well.
195.
It won. The clean went well.
Clean was good.
Yeah, the jerk. I failed the jerk, and then I repeated.
Yeah, I think you missed it once, and then waited.
And then I missed it. And then I missed the clean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, then I missed the clean. Then.
Because it was like the last minute.
It wasn't the last minute. It wasn't the last minute. So I don't remember if it was. I think it was 195. I don't remember if it was. I had the little ones there, but it was 195 because I missed a few jerks, and I thought, no, well, I should go with 200. I don't know if I did that, but 195. Okay.
Yeah.
So I hit the clean pretty good, and I don't remember what happened, but I think I hit the jerk. And the bar just went on me.
You did. This is because of evidence. We've gone back and found video and photo evidence.
I have a video. Yeah.
But so first of all, on that final event, the one where it came down and hit you in the back of the head, that you did not split jerk.
No, I did.
Squat jerk.
No. I split jerked it. That was the one that I failed. I squat jerked one, and I failed that one.
Okay.
And I was like,
okay, so the last one was a split.
Yeah, the last one, when you hit the 225, I also did a split jerk.
Okay. Yes. So this is what happened in the video. This is how we know kind of what happened. Is you see me hitting it in a pan over briefly of Victor, and he gets under 195, and then the arm buckles a little bit, and he jumps back behind it to get out of it. and it grazes it. It nicks.
It caught me there, the back
of his head as he's jumping back out of it. And so yeah, it gave him a little gash on the back.
I actually got knocked out for like 1 second.
You felt that's what you said. You were like, dude, I was out. And so we watched the video, and you like, yeah, it hits you, and then you don't just like hit and then stumble back and stand up. You like hit and fall down, and lay down and rock back on your back, and then for a brief second, and then you roll right, because at that moment, as soon as you fall back on your back, the crowd goes crazy.
Yes,
I just hit the 225.
Exactly, and I don't say
so
what? Boom.
Yes, I think you went a little bit out and rocked back, and then you woke up and everyone was clapping, so you just jumped up and started
clapping because I know you hit that one 225.
Yes, you just jumped up and you came on. Good job, Logan. Good job, Logan. Thanks, bro. And I was on, cloud 9. And I had no idea
you were out. You were out, man. You were out.
Lenny,
and then Lenny comes and said, "Hey, you got blood in the back of your head."
Yeah, he hugged you and he's like, "Bro, you got blood on your head." And yeah, you said, "Whoa, wait, what?"
What the
and
hell?
I'm like, well, I guess I don't remember what just happened.
Yeah, and I told Johnny, and Johnny was like, "Oh shit, let's go."
Yeah.
And he took me to the medicine guy, to that, to the doctors and all that. I was on the competition.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was walking there, it felt really weird. My eyes went crazy.
Exactly, dude. Victor started to say every single thing that is a sign of a concussion.
Exactly. Exactly. I went. My eyes went blurry. Then they went crazy for a little bit. Then it was.
Concussions are scary. It's not something to joke about. But we're glad you're okay. But we literally had some of the best medical staff immediately on site, and then a PA the whole time with you, Diana, making sure that we were taking care of the wound and not letting you just fall asleep, keeping you awake. And this remind you, all listening, this is day 1. This is event 3, day 1. All this is happening. As soon as it happens and Victor starts saying, like, yeah, vision's a little blurry, like, we know he has a concussion, and that has to be managed professionally. Victor is like, no, I'll compete tomorrow. Yeah, it should be fine to compete tomorrow.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted.
No.
Yeah, that's the whole reason why I came here, and I had people that were supporting me and all that.
Totally.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Not for your own brain. To sacrifice your own brain.
So the second day, day number 2, the first event was a swim.
Yeah.
And some cleans with sandbags, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I had no problem with the sandbags, but with the swim, I remember the head judge, it was Kevin and Johnny. They were telling me about, I don't think it's a good idea. You should think about this. You should, reconsider the option of, just withdraw from the competition. And I mean, yeah, it was a responsible decision to make. So yeah, I withdraw from the competition. I mean, I wasn't mad, but I was frustrated.
Yeah, of course.
Sad because,
of course,
again, after a year and a half, exactly, of training and just lockdown and being.
This is prep to go to the games.
Exactly. So boom, this happens, and oh man, now I gotta stop for a week, and I will take this as a rest moment,
right,
and get ready for the real training.
Yes.
I felt weird for a week, maybe a week and a half.
Yeah.
My head was weird, but luckily nothing worse happened, and I get out with it.
You got out with that. This cool little battle wound on the back of your head, I guess. You can barely see it though.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I don't think you can see it.
That happens.
They super glue it.
That's beginning of June. Scary lifting event, but all is good. Victor just has a little bit of foggy brain for a week. No problem.
No problem. Cool. Things happen.
But we're not done there. We're not done there. No, listeners. Victor's luck gets even better. So we're there. All that happens. Victor decides, well, I'm living here in Raleigh. I've got my house, and my fiance Emily is out in Colorado all summer. She got a really cool temporary job. She's been working at a really cool sustainable agriculture farm out there. But anyways, yeah, I haven't seen her in a couple months, and she's actually come home today. Very excited about it. But we were down there for that competition, and I was like, Victor, what are you doing to make sure? Who knows with COVID what might happen? What are you doing to make sure you get to the CrossFit Games at the end of July? And he was like, well, I just hope everything is fine. And I was like, well, I've got an extra bedroom. I've got no one living with me. Like, why don't you just come back to North Carolina and let's just have a training camp and just train leading up to the games. So that's what he decided to do. We canceled his return flight home, and he just came back to North Carolina from Florida. Oh, yeah. And he's been here ever since. And that's what we've been doing, training. So we get back and okay, Victor's head, we need to let him rest, give him a week, no problem. All right, let's get back into training, getting back into it. All of a sudden, his mouth hurts all real bad. And I'm like, okay, Victor, whatever. You got a freaking toothache. Go figure it out. Brush your teeth, whatever. Next day, he's like, this is way worse, way worse. And by 7:00, he's in bed, excruciating pain. I'm like, no, this is not good. Next morning, he's out getting his tooth removed. Yes. Because it was an infected freaking tooth that was starting to get infected, root canal and all that. Exactly. If you've never had a toothache or pain, it's excruciating.
No, that was awful. So I had two options. Or doing that thing.
Yeah.
That
the root canal.
Root canal, yes. Or
pull it.
Yes.
So that's what they did. They said, all right, hold your breath. Here's some pliers, hold your breath. Boosh. Gone. All right, dude.
Bye pain.
Here's a piece of gauze. See you later.
Bye pain.
So that happens. That happens. And Victor asked the question to the orthodontist. He said, so how long until I can work out? He's like, I'd give it, what do you say, 3 days?
3-4 days.
3-4 days. And that's him assuming that Victor's gonna work out like a normal person works out. Mm-hmm. You go to the gym, do some curls, run on the treadmill.
Wow.
No, Victor's the most savage fitnesser ever. Does no workout under 110%. So the doctor saying 3 days meant more like a week. And that was another mental battle for Victor to try to recover and rest while he's living with me and I'm training and he's unable to. So it's tough, man. As a competitor, especially when you're with your competitors, it's tough when you're trying to battle that sort of stuff and just get healthy in order to get the benefits from training. Exactly. So it was another unfortunate event that I kind of sat back and was like, man, I wish there was something I could do, but all you can do is just let them rest and recover. And so that happened. Another week went by. That subsided, that pain, discomfort subsided, and then you jump back into training. Yeah. And we had 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks until the CrossFit Games.
Yes.
And then we got all primed up, ready to go for that. Went to Madison, Wisconsin, and had our awesome debut of the men's upper extremity at the CrossFit Games. Yes. Yeah. So let's talk about that. We got to the CrossFit Games on a Sunday morning. We flew in early in the morning, and then we went to register to check in. So this year is the first year that, it's the first of many things. Well, technically it's the second year of Eric Rozo, the new CEO, being there for the CrossFit Games. But last year was an anomaly. It was hosted at the ranch because of COVID. It was only 5 athletes. So it was very much not the CrossFit Games. This year was our first exposure to what we might expect the future of CrossFit Games to look like. And, it seems like it's moving in a freaking awesome direction. It was incredible on so many levels. The new title sponsor, Noble. It was such a cool way that they put on, granted, we don't have the context of previous registrations, but I've heard from other athletes what it used to be like. And this was just really cool. We all had private lockers that we went into, and you had your own assistant that made sure all the clothes fit right and your shoes fit right.
Your name on top of the locker.
It was branded for you, and
your name on the shirt.
These lockers they looked like display lockers in Foot Locker or something. They were amazing.
That was like NBA.
Really cool how they managed that process and did it. Funny thing, and I guess we'll address it here. I am not a member at Gritstone CrossFit, which was my affiliate on my shirt. Great affiliate from what I hear. I hear they're awesome. They're in the UK. They're in London, from what I understand. I've been to London a long time ago. I've never been to that gym, though. Would love to drop in sometime. But just so you guys, and many of you probably have no idea, but if you were noticing some affiliate names wrong, there was a little bit of a hiccup on a spreadsheet. for the adaptive division that was given to Noble. So just by one cell being off with the spreadsheet, it threw off all the affiliate names. Yeah. So what actually happened is a lot of the guys got the girls affiliate, the girls got the guys affiliate. So we had the wrong affiliate names, but not a big issue, not a problem at all. Honestly, it's a great example of the fact that we are a close-knit community. The CrossFit Games is a culmination of a ton of local communities coming together. So while I wish I could have been representing my Raleigh box here, Neuse River CrossFit, I had Gritstone CrossFit in London. So I can't wait to go to London someday and drop in. So that was just a little bit of I don't know if you can call it a hiccup, but just an unexpected obstacle there. But Noble was phenomenal about it. Those guys were, even with that sort of a hiccup happening last minute, they were so cool. They were telling us how they're going to send us all our appropriate gear in the mail so we can have that memorabilia with the appropriate affiliate stuff on it. But even so, in the meantime, they were hustling to reprint our white shirts for the ceremony to make sure that we had those displayed properly. They were editing our photos to make sure the proper affiliate was shown on the cover photos. So above and beyond in every way that the title sponsor managed that situation and the experience for us as athletes. It was fantastic throughout the entire time. Amazing, And shout out to Kevin and Alec for being the organizers of that division for us. It was. Can't imagine managing all of that. Getting a little bit of insight from them, and how much operational work it was, logistical work it was, to be synced up with all the other age groups and the masters and teens competition. Incredible. So yes, we get there, we get checked in. We got so much shit.
Oh my God.
So much shit. You want to talk about all the stuff they gave us?
Do you?
You talk about it. So, I'm very grateful for it. It was awesome.
I
got to tell you, I'm sponsored by Nike. So while I have all the gear, I'm not able or wearing any of it. The shirts felt good. They were cool shirts. But yeah, you want to talk about how many shoes?
God, yeah, they gave us 6 pair of shoes. They gave us 2 training shoes with light gray and black. They gave us 2 or 3 pair of running shoes, white, black, and mixed colors,
like a trail shoe.
Yeah, like a trail run shoe, and then the lifting shoe,
lifter,
and the flippers,
the flip flops,
slippers.
Yep, the slippers, bags, 3 bags,
big bags, the backpack, and
the big duffels.
Oh my God, yes, they gave us a lot of things,
a lot of stuff,
a lot of stuff. It was too much,
which is cool. Yeah, it's cool that they did that. It was really really neat for all the folks to,
like I said,
get that experience.
Just having your name printed on that shirt, it's a lot, man.
Yeah,
it's freaking a lot. It's a lot to be thankful of.
Exactly, and we got the same experience. So adaptive athletes, masters and teens. Same experience as individual elites. We did it before. We were kind of a few days before individual elites came and competed, but it was really cool to see that all athletes were treated in that same regard. So that was a great intro. Now let's talk about the events. So we didn't know these, we didn't know too many details of these events going into the weekend or the week for us. First day was on Tuesday, and we knew we had 3 events. We knew that event 1 was called a run or something.
Long run.
We knew event 2 was called rope climb, heavy deadlift. Yeah. And we knew event 3 was called snatch.
Heavy snatch. Yeah,
which actually those cues ended up being a little bit misleading, but understandably so. We're dealing with adaptive divisions, a lot of changes and movements and stuff. So for us, though, the first event was for upper extremity men, a 4.5 mile run. So the way that worked was there were this lap on the course outside, and we had to do 6 laps. So each lap was about 1,200 meters.
Yeah.
And that, how'd that event go?
It was fun. It wasn't that good for me. I was expecting a little bit, that it was better for me, but it wasn't. You guys were pretty fast. You guys were pushing it. Casey and Josue and Xavi and you, man. You were going pretty fast. I remember until lap number 3 or 4, I don't remember now. It was mile, the third mile. I got caught on that thought that I was going too fast. And I was thinking, oh man, well, I'm gonna trust that they are also gonna slow down. So I'll take a chance. I'll take a risk.
Go for it.
So yeah, I slowed down, and you guys never slow down. So
well,
I stopped seeing you guys, and yeah, I was going at my own pace. I wasn't trying to win that event. I wasn't trying to burn myself in the first event. The games aren't win on the first event.
No.
You got to save some for the next two events, and yeah, I just slowed down and enjoyed the crowd that was cheering us up.
Yep.
Clapping and yelling and saying our names. That was so fun, man.
Exactly right.
And also thankful. I mean, it's amazing to have the opportunity after being in lockdown for a year and a half to have the chance to compete against our friends, like I said before, and being able to display the same thing for people that thought that, oh my God, poor thing, it's an adaptive human being. And now that we show them that it's not about that, and not even ourselves, look ourselves as adaptive people. But, I mean, I enjoyed it. Every single second of it. I enjoyed it.
I'm glad to hear you enjoyed it.
So yeah, I came out 5th on that one. I wasn't expecting that, but
that's the interesting part about these competitions. This competition for us is the top 5 in each division here. So the worst you can do is be the 5th fittest person on earth in your division.
It's hard.
What? That's amazing. So, and like in events like that, and we'll address this in other events because I definitely have this mentality, for better or for worse. But if you're in 5th and you're not going to win it, why wreck yourself, especially on the first event.
Exactly.
So 5th is 5th. It's the same if you lose it by a second, or if you come 5th by a second, or by 30 minutes. It's the same amount of points.
Yes.
So anyways, that's just a little bit of a competitive insight to our division and how the competition went. But yeah, 4.5 mile run. I was like, I don't want to say overly confident, but I felt so good about that going into it. I knew Casey is a freak of nature. Casey Acre, he won that, and he comes from long distance running, mid distance running in high school. Yes. So I knew he had that in his back pocket, but thought I would be able to stick with like Josue and Zabi. And I even had like my Nike cheater shoes on. I had my the shoes that the guy broke the 2 hour marathon in or whatever. I literally call them the Nike cheater shoes. They're amazing. They help out a lot, the runners. But I thought okay, these things, I'm golden here. No, it was hard. It was a really hard event. I don't think leading up, we were really doing long runs. So a long run, I was just banking on my experience. I had done earlier in the year prior, I ran my first half marathon, and that was a brutal experience, but I just wanted to do it. So I felt like I could just pull from that experience and do well in this event. Not at all the case. No. I came in 4th in that one, and those guys, Casey, Josue, and Zabi, they were fast, real fast. I finished, I think, a few minutes ahead. So that was event 1 early in the morning on Tuesday. It was pretty hot, but typical conditions down here in North Carolina. Event 2. So what happens next? Next workout, which was called rope climb deadlift.
Deadlift.
We get briefed on this workout, and it ends up being 5 rounds of 1 rope climb, 5 dumbbell power snatches at 100 pounds for us on the dumbbell. Pretty heavy dumbbell. We train a lot with a 50. We train frequently with a 70, very rarely with 100. So that was meant to be super heavy and kind of shock us, because when we go that heavy with snatches, we're typically on a barbell.
Yeah, it wasn't that heavy, man.
It felt heavy.
It was heavy, but
it felt heavy. Round 5 felt very
Yeah, well, round 5, yes. The first rounds, it was like, oh my
Mr.
God.
Macho over here. Wasn't that
No,
heavy?
come on. It's fucking
100
adrenaline, bro.
pounds.
It's fucking, I mean, you fucking nailed it with 120. Remember that?
I mean, we went unbroken on all
on all rounds.
for sure. That's the name of the game. But it was honestly what made it feel heavy to me was the heat. That workout amongst the whole weekend to me
The heat
was the hottest I ever felt.
Well, I come from a very hot place.
Yeah.
That wasn't heat. That wasn't hot for me.
Okay, Mr. Macho over
No,
there. It was literally 110 degrees on the floor. The only cool spot was at the top of the rope when you touched the mark. As soon as you began to descend, it got 10 degrees hotter. And then you stepped off this mattress that was like, okay, it's pretty warm, onto the turf. And then you were like, oh, yeah, this is 110 degrees. Oh, my gosh. I was so, I don't know. I guess it was adrenaline. I guess
it was adrenaline.
2 in the afternoon. It was our
adrenaline.
second event. It was really like our first CrossFit event. And I came out really hot.
I wouldn't imagine if that would have been the weather when we were running. That would be crazy.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it was cold when we were running.
Oh, I disagree.
No.
Cold?
Mr. Macho Man over here.
It was cold?
North guy over here.
It wasn't cold, but it was muggy. It was so
No, for me, that was cold.
Humid.
That was cold for me.
Well, all right. He was here 2 months training. I guess he wasn't in the same weather I was in. So 5 rounds, 1 rope climb, 5 dumbbell power snatches. I came out way too hot. I tried keeping up with Casey. Casey, I knew was going to run between the rope and the dumbbell. I did that first 2 rounds, and then I was peaking. I was heart rate maxed, and it was. And obviously, I think this is a lot of the reason why I felt like it was so hot out there. And then I started walking, but still, as soon as you get to the rope, jump up, get up the rope. As soon as you come down, walk up to that dumbbell and do those snatches.
My heart was pounding.
That was a great event for me. I got second on that one.
It was a good event.
And it was a great event for all of us. We all went up and down that rope real quick. The interesting part about it, just to give you all some context, if you're curious, Josue, he was the only one that had to go to the 20-foot mark on the rope. We all climbed to the 15-foot mark, which was indicated by like a spray paint line on the rope. Josue had to go to the 20-foot mark, which is where it's connected to, and the rig up top, because he has 2 points of contact, 2 arms that he was going to use to ascend and descend the rope. So that's their way for accounting for that. And then we all had to do single arm, same arm, dumbbell power snatches, 5 each round. So, yeah, it was a good event. I mean, the times were really fast.
Yeah, we had like what, 6 minutes of time cap? 5?
Yeah, it was, and I think we were close under 3.
Yes.
Yeah, it was fast, real fast. That was probably my favorite CrossFit event that we had there.
That was pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty cool too.
Yeah. All right. And hey, thanks for everyone tuning in, watching on live. Yes. I know we've got a few of you guys here. We've been on here for over an hour. So appreciate you hanging out. Just a podcast episode. It'll be available on Spotify and wherever you listen to podcasts later. But let's move on to event 3. So that was our second event of day 1. And then we had one more event to finish up day 1. God. This event, similar to the Bacon Beatdown, was a moment that I was so excited for.
Oh, yes.
It was another 1 rep max lift. This one, we had 6 minutes to establish a 1 rep max deadlift for the upper extremity division. Lower extremity did a 1 rep max snatch, and neuromuscular did a 1 rep max clean. Those were the 3 adaptive divisions in this year's CrossFit Games. And we all did that event in the Coliseum. So it's like the indoor competition floor at the games. And we all did that one at the same time. So all the guys were out there together doing their, in all the different divisions, doing their lift. So upper extremity, 1 rep max deadlift. This was my jam. This is where I thought I should absolutely crush this and win it. I was pretty familiar with Victor, Josue, pretty familiar with Victor, Zabi, and Casey's deadlift maxes. Very unfamiliar with Josue and his lifts, and just generally him as an athlete. So he was next to me, luckily, so I was trying to watch him throughout that event. And it was only 6 minutes, so it was going to go by fast. So we had a lot of time to warm up. We had primed up good on the deadlift, so got out there, and I think I went straight for 455 or something. for the first
Oh
pull.
my god.
What'd you end up getting?
335. So I got
For PR, right?
Yeah, 5 pounds PR.
5 pound PR, hell yeah. So Vic PR'd out there. It was awesome. Casey was far away from me, but again, I wasn't too worried about him. He was very transparent and it was telling me his deadlift numbers. And I didn't take those to heart. I still watched him to make sure because I thought he might try to pull one on me and say, "I can only pull 400 and go out there and pull 520 or something." But I think Casey pulled 415 or 405, and that was awesome for him. And so I'm over here looking at Josue, and I'm seeing him load up very similar to how I'm loading. I pull 455, and I see that he pulls, I think, I forget what he pulled, 450 or something around there, similar. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to go to 490 and then be like, okay, this is my, 1 rep max. Like, this is the most I can go to. Well, let's see if he gets to that. I pulled 490, and then I saw like 1 minute left that he pulled 500, or he did a deadlift. And it looked like, really hard, but he did it clean. It was a very clean deadlift. And then he dropped it. And I was like, it's 1 minute left. And I walked up because in front of each of our platforms, there was a card that would display your made attempt. And I frankly didn't have a coach in the stands telling me what to hit. So I was myself observing the floor and trying to figure out what weight I needed to hit. So Josue hit that. And I thought it was, I literally walk out of my station, like pretty far, like almost over to his station to see the card in front of his, and it says 500. So I'm like, all right, walk back over to mine, put 500 on. I'm like, what? If I'm going to go for a PR like this, why not just win this event? And so I slapped on 1 pound on each side, those little tiny, little thin freaking 1 pounders on either side for 502 total, and then pulled that. Right at like 30 seconds left or something. Couldn't believe I was able to stand it up. It was a crazy, holy hamstrings.
And I saw that
my back was all rounded and everything, but you just get that rep up, just get it up. And so couldn't believe I got the lift, was so fired up. Thought I won the event for sure. I thought I won the event.
Oh, I thought that too.
So that was very frustrating. I was so happy with it, and I'm not frustrated at all with my performance or outcome, but just thought I had won the event. Now, granted, had I known 525, which is what Josue actually pulled, if that had been on that card, if I had tried to put 526 on the bar, first of all, I wouldn't have been able to pull it.
I don't think so. You would be able.
And I think I would have just gotten a no rep, or I would have hurt myself.
No, you wouldn't pull that.
So
but you would have got fried the next day.
I would have gone. Oh, I was anyways. Anyway, so yeah, that's what happened. I'm happy I did it. Don't regret it at all. But man,
why?
The 502 did fry me. I was smoked the next 2 days. So that was it. That was our day 1, 3 events. Then we got to go rest, recover, get ready for day 2.
Oh man, those nights.
Yeah. So that's the biggest epiphany on the whole. We'll talk about that at the end. But just recovery, the ability to recover and fuel. That was the hardest part, but we'll get there in a second.
Yeah, let's not reveal.
Event 3. All right. So we had those 3 events. So, a long run, quick, really fast rope climb, very dumbbell snatch, and then a really heavy lift, a deadlift. All right. So perfect. You wake up on Wednesday morning feeling like
it was a beautiful workout.
Oh man, I hated this one. No, I love the workout. I hated how I felt. I was smoked. I was dead.
I saw you.
So event 4 was a big chipper for us. This big long chipper, ton of volume. So just a lot of work to get done in a 16-minute window. So it started off with 84 calorie bike erg on a Concept 2 bike, if you're familiar with those, into 42 GHD sit-ups, which if you're unfamiliar with those, YouTube them. I mean, it's like in the most aggressive version of a sit-up you could do. Your legs are locked in on this thing, and you swing back, touch the ground, swing all the way up. We had 42 of those, right into 42 dumbbell squats. So you picked up a 50-pound dumbbell, held it in your front rack, on your chest, on your shoulder, whatever, 42 squats. Then right into 84 feet of a single arm dumbbell overhead walking lunge. Same dumbbell, 50 pounds in the hand. in one hand, overhead walking lunge, 84 feet of that. And then at 84 feet, you then stop and do 42 single arm dumbbell push press. In other words, get it from your shoulder overhead. And then you do another 84-foot single arm dumbbell overhead walking lunge to the finish line. This is all moving like in progression down the field that we were on, this outdoor field that we were on for that workout. So if you just listen to that, that is a lot of reps. 84 cals, 42 reps, 42 reps, 84 feet, 42 reps, 84 feet. All of those movements are pretty intense on the legs. My legs were smoked before the workout even started. So I did not do too well on this one. I crashed and burned halfway through this one and was just struggling to finish the workout under the time cap. And this is where we'll talk about at the end here. Really, I learned the most obvious lesson in this workout, which was fueling, how to fuel before these events. But this workout went well for you, Vic.
Yeah, I mean, it came out fourth. It wasn't that good. Or third. I don't remember. But it was a good workout. I felt good throughout the entire whole workout. I had a few no reps. I remember, and you saw this too, I remember dropping the dumbbell in my head again. So
at the end.
Oh my God, this guy just want to kill himself.
Almost. You almost did that.
Freaking.
And in the event too, with the 100-pound dumbbell, there's a video of you. We had to progress it after each round, so you had to move it up to like this next, 10-foot square. And instead of oftentimes I would just leave it overhead, just overhead walk it. But you brought it to your shoulder, but you just let that whole dumbbell head just collapse on top of your shoulder.
Yeah, just drop that down and. Squat it and just keep walking, walk through it.
But in that event 4, do you remember when we started that workout? The announcer was like, "All right," and the guys have got like 62 calories on the bike.
Yeah,
and we all looked at each other and we're like, "What?"
Yeah.
And then we looked at our judges and we're like, "Are we getting off at 62?" And they're like, "No, 84, no. 84." And we're like, "Oh man, I would love for this to be 62." Honestly, for me, not to analyze that workout too specifically, but for me, that's where I went too hard. I knew Casey and you, all of you guys, everybody in our division has these monster legs other than me. These really thick.
Josue doesn't have that.
Actually, you're right. You're right.
Thick, thin leg.
You're right. Which is crazy because he back squats 415 for 4.
If you're watching this,
and deadlifts 525. It's crazy. His structure, how he doesn't look.
It's super strong.
And Josue, please don't take this wrong way. He doesn't look that strong or
super
fit
strong.
Or jacked. But he's
when I saw his numbers on the qualifier, I was like, what?
Hang cleans 315 for reps too, because he gets it up in that hip pocket.
Yes. And boom.
Unbelievable.
He's super explosive too. Huh?
Yes, that's what it is. Totally. So. Anyways, I was just trying to keep up. I knew that I was kind of at the bottom of the pack on a workout like that. And so I thought I could just blow up on the bike erg in the beginning and my legs would just refresh on the GHD sit-ups for the dumbbell squats and all the lunging. That didn't happen. That was not the case.
I didn't want too hard on the bike because I knew I could go super fast in the GHDs because I didn't feel that.
Yeah. That's where I messed up. And then at the very end there, in between those 84-foot overhead lunges, was sandwiched in those those dumbbell push presses at 42.
Yeah, that was
42
hard.
reps.
That was hard.
That's what buried me the most. Yeah. That became sets of 3 or 4, and it was I don't know. And we didn't even use our shoulder. Other than, in the overhead lunge, but my shoulder was just smoked. Again, I think I really wrecked myself from event 3. That always happened. In training, when I'd pull really heavy, the next 2 days, I have incredibly low energy, incredibly low. So unfortunately, that's the situation I put myself in. So day 2, that was our first event number 4, this long chipper, as we call it.
It was,
and then we had one more event, early afternoon, off-site event, and it was a swim. A swim. Yes, Dave Castro, we can swim. He asked. He was very skeptical that the adaptive division would do well in the swim event.
Well,
I heard some rumors that he thought this is the division that would have some medical problems out in the water. I'm happy to say nobody in the adaptive division needed medical assistance ever in the swim event or throughout the whole weekend, other than the last event, neuromuscular.
Yeah.
Alicia, she was going so hard. She needed some help, but that was not at all a safety issue. We were very responsible, very safe, and very proud. I'm very proud of all of us, especially in this swim event, which I dread. I hate. I suck at. I'm not a swimmer. I wish I was. Like, I'm born in January. My zodiac is Aquarius. I love the water. Like, everything about me loves the water. But, man, I can't seem to figure out how to swim. And this swim event was just 300 meters.
Yeah, it was nothing, man.
Super short. We go to the pool. Victor and I were going to the pool once a week, every week, leading up to that. Yeah. Swimming well over that, swimming 1,000 meters. Yes. And so, like, 300, no problem. So we go to the site for the swim event, which is off-site, really close, but they bus us over there. And we check out, the system. It's like a boat ramp, so it's easy entry into the water. And then where the buoy is, we have to go out around the buoy and come back. Simple as that. So this workout is called a 300-meter swim.
Wow.
That is false.
Yes.
Because it was 150-meter
run
through waist-deep water with algae grass that is growing up to your thighs.
Noodles.
And then try to swim through a pile of people for about 100 meters and then run through shit again. That's what the event should have been called. That's what it was. That's what it should have been called. So there's a lot of pros and cons to all of this. Pros, if you don't know how to swim too well, you can just walk. You can just walk out there, take your time, keep your heart rate low. Then when you lose your footing, do some breaststroke and finish it. But honestly, even that's what you could do, breaststroke, you got to get over a massive fear of like algae wrapping around your arms and legs and your face and your neck. Stuff was everywhere. And it's like this weird like itchiness underwater. It's not like this soft like seaweed where you're like, oh, it just goes right by me. No, it's like this it's like plants that are itching you underwater. It's I hated it. Unbelievable. And okay, I didn't swallow any water. Which surprising. But so many athletes who did had some poop problems. What? Yes, there is something in that water. A lot of the individual elites were talking about having some stomach issues. And I think it was directly contributed to taking a mouthful of the whatever that lake is, Madison, Wisconsin, lake water. So anyways, this is our event, 300-meter swim, out and back, 3, 2, 1, go. We start like at the boat ramp standing. So we run into the water. This was the event that like I say we, like Victor and I both, but really Victor the most needed to win it.
Oh yeah.
Like he needed to win it. And he was saying that before. He's like, all right, Logan, this is the one. Like, let's not let them win. Like, let's be in the front and let's finish this in the front. He was all fired up and I was too. I mean, I knew that too, but again, I knew where I physically was after the first event this day and just progressively feeling more exhausted and worn out from the deadlift over these next 2 days for me. So for this swim event, I heard him. I understood what he was saying, but I was like, I'm gonna try, but I really don't think I'm gonna be like the most aggressive one in our heat right now. And so 3, 2, 1, go. We all take off. I do my best to be max intensity, running into that water. Quickly realized, I think like Casey dove in to swim. I think we all did. We did like dove in to do 1 loop or 2 loops, and as soon as we did a loop. As soon as we did like a paddle, we touched the ground and then we were like, all right, we can just stand up. Literally we
can run.
Went to swim and I was like, oh, this is sand. We got up and it was like knee deep. You take 2 steps, it gets about waist deep. And it was waist deep for like 50 meters, a good 50 meters. And we're literally just running as hard as we can. So that's all good and fine. And I could do that. But the stimulus that provoked and induced in my heart rate was not conducive to me then swimming. I guess all these guys are way more comfortable with higher heart rates in the water than I am, because that's the moment when it became swim time, where I just couldn't put the head down and free stroke. I had to backstroke, had to breaststroke. I had to just tread water for a minute, trying to catch my breath. And it was pretty packed. Like there was
a lot of
the
people.
swim events we've been in.
I think I kicked a few.
That was the most like people around me I've ever had. And I've done a couple triathlons where a lot of people around, but you spread out pretty quick.
Yeah.
This stayed super dense because it was so short, and half of it was a water run.
Yes.
So it stayed like a really dense ball of people. So yeah, we come around. You're in the front, right?
I was leading the whole workout.
You were leading.
I was
the whole way.
I was leading the whole way until I got.
And it's literally a trail. I mean, it's literally like Victor's leading. I think Casey's just right behind you.
Right, Casey and Jose was right behind.
They're just it's just three of them in a trail
waiting.
Yep, that's all it was.
Just waiting for me.
Yeah, and so then as soon as you come around the buoy, you're coming back. They're both just staying right behind you.
Yeah.
You get back, done with the swim portion, and now you're starting to stand a little bit.
I started to run. When I get to the ramp, I stepped on
like a rock or something.
No. There was a lot of this freaking.
Oh, like the algae, the slippery algae.
Yes. I stepped on that one.
Oh,
in the ramp.
No. So you slipped?
I slipped away from that one, and Josue and Casey went they sent it. Yes, right next to me, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
That's what I heard. I was probably. I
had this.
I was probably just coming around the buoy at this moment, but once I got in and wasn't dying anymore, this is exactly what Casey was saying. Casey was like, "Dude,
I was swimming so hard."
It was all three of us it was you in front, Casey and Josue, both trying to pass you at the same time, but on either side of you. So you only saw Casey?
No, there was Casey and Josue. There was both of them. I saw them. One
of them only saw one of the other. One of them didn't know of the other. I thought it was you who didn't see Josue.
No. I knew where they were.
Casey didn't see Josue then. He must have only seen you or something. Somebody only saw. That's what I think it was. So then he tried to pass you, and then he saw that Josue was about to pass you too, and he kicked the foot. The only reason Casey won was because he led with the chipped foot.
Yes.
And so he towed the line, and then Josue was 0.2 of a second behind him, and then you were like a second or 2 seconds.
Maybe 3 seconds.
Or 3 seconds. Like you were then just right behind him.
I was right there, and I was, man.
And what was that workout? Because to me, it was just like my legs, my quads.
Yeah, my quads were feeling it. My quads were feeling it, and because of the intensity that I was swimming off, my head was pounding.
Golly.
Yeah, I was breathing pretty hard, and I don't remember if I was breathing.
Jeez, dude. Yeah.
But yeah, I was swimming super fast because I really wanted to win that one.
Who's this?
I was close to it.
Hey, brothers. I'm also a right arm amputee, and I want to say a big thank you for the strength you give me every day, Logan. Best of luck for both of you. Hey.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, bro.
Appreciate it.
Punhita Dip. I have no idea how to say your Instagram handle, but really appreciate you, bro. We're the one arm army. The Army, bro. Join the Army, man.
That's awesome. Thank you guys for checking out the live feed here. This is a long podcast, but hey, we got to get through it. We got to talk about all these events, man.
One more. 2 more.
So day 2, that was it. 2 events.
Yeah, that was a good day.
That was gracious. That was I appreciated that programming. I know when we first got there and we first knew that there was like only 7 events for us, I was pretty bummed. And I was like, man, we're not going to get a show of fitness enough. But hey, I got to say, I'm glad that
it was good. It was
7.
Good. I mean, one more day, I wouldn't be mad.
No, man, you were well on your way. You were gaining points.
Yeah, I was.
You were going to take the podium.
I was 12 and a half.
All right, so day 3, Thursday, July 29th. We show up, and we've got 2 more workouts. Well, they call it event 7 and event 9, just because for the rest of the divisions, that's what number it was. But for us, it was event 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Total of 7 events. So what they call event 7, our actual event 6, was another workout outside at the North Park, as they call it, the outdoor field. It was super interesting rep schemes, like these freaking rep schemes. Like, what in the world are we doing with numbers?
Yes.
Like, we're athletes. We're trying to go here before. Now we got to remember all these numbers. And now, granted, we don't. Like, the judge has to remember, but you should know as an athlete. And this was like doing freaking algebra for me out there. So this is what it was. Yeah, it was straight through, so kind of like chipper style. 30 burpees to a target. The target was like the pull-up bar right above us. So you'd come out under the pull-up bar, do a burpee, jump up, touch the pull-up bar. 30 burpees to the target. 40 calorie ski erg, concept 2 ski erg, and then 135 double unders, and then 24 burpees to a target, and then 30 calories on the ski erg, and then 108 double unders. No, not 109, 108, not 110, 100, not 100, 108 double unders. And then we go back to the burpees and do 18 burpees to the target, not 20. But 18. And then we do 20 calorie ski erg. And then we finish with 81 double unders. Not 80, not 85, 81 double unders, not 82.
I guess
81. Like, what in the hell? And I'm sure there's a reason to it. I'm sure there's some algorithm or total reason as to why this is the number. But and I'm just giving them a hard time at this point. But this is ridiculous. This was ridiculous numbers. Fun workout, ridiculous numbers. Time cap of 16 minutes. So we had, again, 30 burpees, 40 cal ski, 135 double unders. Let's talk about the double unders in this workout. That was a bunch of bullshit. Double unders. We're on turf. We're outside, outdoor, at the whole field, the venue that Rogue made for all these events outside.
That's so crazy.
Awesome turf, like state of the art.
Yeah, shout out to Rogue. That was incredible.
Best turf in the world. Best setup. Really cool. Not good for double unders. I don't care who you are.
Please don't do that ever again because it's not functional.
It was a bunch of bullshit.
Yes.
Everyone struggled with double unders. Doesn't matter if you were a teenager, you were masters, you were adaptive, you had one arm, you had 2 arms, you had 7 arms. Like, no one could do the double unders out on the turf. Don't know who tested that one, or obviously no one tested that one.
No, poor guys.
So that was really frustrating. And this is my only rant or complaint about any of the workouts and throughout the whole weekend. I am not one to toot my own horn, but I am really good at double unders, like elite. I'll go 400 unbroken, no problem. I did not get to demonstrate my capacity or ability or skill at all with that workout. So personally, I was really struggling out there mentally. That was a really frustrating workout for me because again, I didn't do well on that one. I think I got 4th on that one.
Yes.
And that was really frustrating for me because that was one I really thought that Victor, myself, and Casey, I'm sure, because Casey's just good at all this stuff. But we would be crushing it. We'd be out in front. I really thought this was one where I could send it to Josue. But that wasn't the case. I think we all got capped. No one finished the workout. So that's number one, issue. Never want that to happen.
Oh man.
But hey, do your best, forget the rest. That's what we did on that workout. Tried it, did as good as you could. Victor put a lot of double unders together. He definitely was more capable of that than I was.
Good workout. Love it.
What were your thoughts?
Oh well.
How'd it go for you?
It went good, man. Came out third, but it was a pretty good workout for me. I mean, I'm pretty good at all the movements. I mean, I'm pretty fast at burpees. I know that I can pull hard on that calories on the skier. And I came out with a different technique on the double unders. I wasn't jumping with pointing my feet down. I was pointing my feet up so the rope doesn't get caught on my toes and just pass through the turf.
Right.
And that was the only thing that made my rope not to get caught on the turf. Because I wasn't even jumping on. I mean, the rope wasn't touching the turf, not even close.
Right.
I was jumping very hard.
Yeah.
it killed my shoulder jumping on that one because
Right.
it felt slower than usually is.
So that's
that was the whole workout. Man.
To the
Doing
listeners
double unders,
to
getting out
understand-
of the double unders, that was the whole workout for us, I think.
For
Because
listeners
the
to
other
understand,
movements
this
were
is
pretty
like jumping rope. You typically do on really hard surface. You do it on concrete, on
Oh yeah,
rubber mats, as in CrossFit Games is always on these rubber mats, and it's a very conducive surface for the rope, whether you have a thin cable or a real thick cable, whatever, to hit the ground appropriately and not like bounce up or not get caught in the ground. The turf, as you can imagine, it's turf. It's artificial grass.
exactly.
And it absolutely, in every sense of the way, grabs the rope or cable as it comes through. So that's what was happening. And the way that you can combat that, if you have two arms and you're using a normal jump rope, is you can make your jumps and like bring your knees in just a hair to shorten your legs a little bit.
Yeah.
And you can spread your arms out a little bit. By spreading your arms out a little bit, you get that rope. And this is all like horrible pointers and techniques for actually jumping rope properly. So in order to do well, you need to adopt bad habits, bad technique, which would have been spreading your arms out wide if you have two arms, and then like tucking your feet, either butt kicking or bringing your knees in a little bit, or piking, that pike. That would have been the way. And that's what I think you have a really aggressive turnover on your double unders. So even if you are hitting the ground, you have much more probability to pull that rope through than I do. Like I am and I always say this when I'm teaching it, I'm barely holding on to my hand.
I mean, that's the way to do it on concrete, on rubber, on that. That thing. But that's the way to do it. Actually, just let that go.
Yes,
just let the rope.
Exactly.
Let the rope go.
It was hard to learn that technique real
hard.
quick. What it would have been really cool.
It would actually
to have mats out there and to have had heavy ropes.
Yeah, it felt like a heavy rope.
And I honestly think even if you didn't have mats, if you gave us heavy ropes, we would have done better because it would have carried through the ground.
I mean,
more.
Still we were pretty lucky that we had that rope that's a little bit thicker than the other one. Because if we would have had,
I told you.
Yes,
weren't you training with the cable?
Yes, I was training with the speed cable.
And Casey, and I fucking shouldn't have told him. We're there right before the event, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, I trained with the cable." And I'm like, "You ought to go get the Arc Smart Gear Buff cable right now." And he did. He went to the booth and bought a cable.
Because that was the struggle with the elite heat. They had all the speed cables, and that's getting caught pretty fast than the thick cables on the turf.
Mm-hmm.
So we were pretty lucky with that one.
Yep. So it was. I was really excited for that workout because they were all going to be unbroken. Double unders were all going to be unbroken, and that was going to be really cool to show folks.
Yes. It was good.
And I think
it was good.
It was good. Still, it was good. But we would have. I think we would have all been neck and neck, a lot closer on that workout.
Yeah.
And then our last workout, event 7.
Oh my god.
Oh man, this one was epic. So
fun.
It was for so many reasons. First of all, and I'm sorry for not discussing more of the other divisions. I plan on getting those folks, someone who wants to discuss and recap the games from their perspective and their division on the podcast too. So we're really focusing on the men's upper extremity here in this one and our personal experiences. But this last workout in our division, the leaderboard was brutal. Zabi, what's up, bro? We're just talking about it.
What's up, Capullo?
Capullo, whatever. I don't know that name. I thought your name was Zabi. And I don't even know if your name's Zabi, but that's what I call you. I think it's Xavier.
No.
Zabi. Good to see you, bro. Anyways, so the last event, our division leaderboard was getting heated. It was intense. I mean, it was just between Victor and I. The leaderboard was intense for third place.
Oh, it's so good.
Like it was a battle for third place. After event 3 in that deadlift, again, I got 5th place on event 4 and event 5. So it really went into day 3. And then day 3, not doing well on event 6, it really put points even for Victor and I going into the final event. event number 9. So event 9, Victor needed to win it. If he won that event, and if one person came in between us, if he won, and then Casey came in, for instance, and then I came in, then he would have been on the podium.
If I would have won the swim, that would be different.
If you would have won the swim, you'd have been on the podium. You can always go back and do this stuff, and I don't think it's very healthy to do. But for this last event, this is what scenario.
That's what I'm telling.
The scenario was recognized, and Victor was like a scary person to be around before this event because he was just like, "I'm gonna fucking go." He was like walking up to Casey. He was like, "Casey, I'm fucking coming for you. I'm coming for you, bro." And Casey was like, "All right, man, all right," because I mean, it's just fact of the matter. I mean, Casey's like a Matt Frazier. It's like that's who you're striving for. So yeah, for Victor to be like, I'm going for you. And Casey was like, all right.
That fired him up. Dude.
Yeah, it fired him up because he was telling me, he was like, Logan, you have to go. Like you gotta, like Victor's gonna go on this and you have to go with him or you're not gonna get on the podium. So Casey was telling me the situation because you were telling him your attacking situation. So that's what it was, and I had no other strategy other than I'm going to go as hard as I can to try to finish it.
That workout
I was managing just horrible quads at that time. My legs were shot. I was so wrecked, dude. I'm telling you, huge learning lesson for me on a lot of things we'll talk about in a second. But yeah, so this last workout, it was 30, 24, 18, 12, 6 reps of pistols. And after each one of those sets, like you did 30 pistol, and a pistol is a single leg squat. So like alternating on either leg, you have to go back and forth, do one single leg squat on one leg, one on the other, counting every time you go down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 30. And then you go from 30 pistols to 10 dumbbell thrusters with 70 pounds, 70 pound dumbbell, just obviously holding in our one hand, doing 10 thrusters. A thruster is like a dumbbell, like holding the dumbbell at your shoulder, doing a squat. And then as you come up from the squat, you press the dumbbell up overhead. So standing tall and that dumbbell finishing out overhead at 70 pounds. So then you would do 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 dumbbell thrusters. So 30 pistols, 10 thrusters, 24 pistols, 8, 18, 6, 12, 4, 6, and 2. So if you can imagine those movements, it's a leg blaster. Like just fry the legs with a little bit of shoulder fatigue in there from the thrusters. And it was in the Coliseum. So we're inside. All of the men went at the same time. We're all lined up to go. And it was epic on so many levels just because it was Thursday, which is when a lot of the other athletes are coming in. A lot of the media and a lot of the folks are coming in. So, and we were inside in the Coliseum. So we had a lot more participants, a lot more spectators there watching this final event. And it's a final event.
It's a final event. It's the final day.
The finale. And so, that workout, 3, 2, 1, go. And Victor went flying. Casey went flying. You stayed right with them.
I was right there, man.
All the way to the end.
Yeah, I was right there. You finished what 30 seconds? I don't know. We were super close.
Yep.
We were super close.
Yep.
He was moving, I was moving. He was moving, I was moving.
Yep.
It was a good workout. I was super hyped, man.
Yep.
Until the end. It was super emotional. I mean, just by that, I mean, competing against all of you, you're my friends, man. I mean, being there and having the full experience of an athlete, having the chance of being called as a game athlete, you know.
Yeah.
Now we're not adaptive, you know. I mean, it's still adaptive, but
right.
I mean, we showcase that we are athletes more than anything else.
That was really cool. It was such a cool way to finish because whatever, like we all crossed the finish line in that workout and placement was what it was. Again, the worst case scenario, you're the 5th fittest person on earth in your respective division.
That's the best.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's awesome. So once we all crossed the finish line, it was pure celebration.
Oh my God.
Like we're all just happy. Now, you know, the competitor in you for sure wishes you'd have done better. For sure, you know, wish Victor had been on the podium, wish I had been higher on the podium, all these things, of course, from a competitor perspective. But from a human being perspective, from like a dream and a vision that you have when you've become so passionate about something, and then to watch that dream or vision come true, and then to have a moment while your dream is coming to fruition where you intentionally get to be like introspective and reflect. And I don't know what it was, but we all, for some reason, knew that at that moment you crossed the finish line on event 7 was your time to say, oh, we did it.
Yes.
And everyone felt that in that moment. Everyone has different emotions that come to light when they feel that moment, but we all had that together. And then that's why we came together on the workout floor, got into a huddle, took a picture. You know, we didn't have the ladies out there with us. We love you, the ladies in the adaptive divisions as well. But, you know, we were competing next to each other, the respective men's adaptive categories. So we were this brotherhood out there of individuals that collectively displayed a message of like, we're, from the famous words of Guy, we're not here to play, we're here to compete. Loved when he said that. And I couldn't think of a better statement for the adaptive division to adopt. And that's what we did. You know, that's what we showed at the end there. We weren't there to play. We were there to compete. But we're also a brotherhood, a family, a very close-knit family, 100%. And professional athletes, you know, that take this very seriously. And we hope that the spectators, the viewers, the other participants, and all the volunteers that we're so grateful for recognize that we put in a lot of work to be able to do and participate in these events. And that work is not for selfish gain and righteousness, but instead to get other people to recognize that they're far more capable than they know, and they can come out here and do it too.
100%.
You know?
Yeah.
You know? And so here we are, like, CrossFit Games ended. It was such a cool, you know, so many emotions, so many firsts, so many things we've been waiting for so long. And now it's leading to more serious consideration for us as athletes, for us as competitors, and I think for us as opportunities with brands and with media, which is helpful, you know, especially if you're doing this full time.
That's what we need, man.
That's what you got to have.
That's what we need.
I mean, you came back here, you know, after the games, you're coaching full time.
I'm coaching full time at Snooze River now.
And thank God that there's that situation where John is in a place where can, you know, give you this opportunity to stay here and to make some money and coach.
Yes.
But you know, it's a grind, man. It's brutal. It's a lot of work. So
100%.
so thankful to the CrossFit Games and CrossFit for the opportunity. And you know, obviously we want to see this thing grow in so many ways.
It is. It's gonna grow.
All the divisions we want to see there, the growth of that, the continued opportunity to compete in the sport of fitness in CrossFit. And you know, it's cool that we have the games, we have the open. And I think, you know, for those listening, any adaptive athletes out there that want to get started and get involved, you got to get involved. You got to get started. It's a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time to get to this level potentially, or it might not. You might just be naturally gifted and crush it.
Oh yeah.
But there's endless opportunity, and if not through CrossFit, through WheelWOD, and frankly, that's the best place to start.
Oh yeah.
WheelWOD gives you, and that's what's coming up next. So like we just did the CrossFit Games.
November.
And then we've got the WheelWOD Games, which is sort of, I would call it like the Adaptive Fitness Championship.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called the WheelWOD Games, but that's what it is. If you want to think about what that event is focused on. It is only for adaptive athletes to compete and deem the fittest in their respective category amongst all the categories. And the great part for WheelWOD is that it's exactly where you can start. There are all the divisions, appropriately classified divisions for consideration of impairment and then sort of sub-impairment.
So like if you're upper, are you below elbow or above elbow upper? Things like that. Are you seated? Are you seated with hip function or without? Things of that nature, which is really helpful for leveling the playing field. So I encourage you to check it out. Go to wheelwad.com to learn more about how to get involved in the competitions coming up. I think there's some wild card spots if you want to try to qualify for November, but that will be here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And really excited to compete in that one.
It's going to be awesome.
To see all the fellow adaptive athletes again.
It's going to be hard too.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very different. That's the interesting part. This is minute details to the general public, but like the CrossFit tests and the wheel-wad tests are quite different in the sense, especially now,
100%.
Because the CrossFit had to think about exactly what our field was: a below elbow, a guy with 2 arms, guy with 1 arm. How do we make the movements just the same for them, where there's no unfairness or competitive advantage or just ability advantage? But whereas with the wheel-wad games, specifically this year, it hasn't been that way in the past. This way in the past, wheel-wad will always implement, weight multipliers or coefficients in order to account for 1 point of contact versus 2 in the upper extremity. But now moving forward, there's actually an upper extremity above elbow division, and then an upper extremity below elbow division. So just it's only due to the population. We've got enough folks.
Yeah.
Victor and I and so many other upper extremity athletes have been such good advocates and have pulled in, by peer pressure or not, I'm not sure. We've pulled in enough other upper extremity athletes that are fired up to participate and compete, that we have a population size that allows us to go a little bit deeper within that category and get that above elbow, below elbow perspective. Same thing happening with lower extremity, which is huge difference in ability and task accomplishment between above knee and below knee.
Yes.
So these are big strides that we've been aware of for a long time, and now we're finally able to move forward. So if you're hesitant because those sort of considerations were something you're thinking about, like, well, I'm an above knee, I'll never beat that Ole guy who's a below knee. Well, hey, don't worry. You probably won't. That's true. But you should still show up and participate and compete.
Yes.
You're really competing against yourself, and there's a division for you now. There's a spot for you. And for those who have been participating in that position, you had to be the leader. You're the pioneer of this thing. So continue to make it happen. And thanks for being here and joining
Major
us.
and minor too. So
And if you show up,
don't worry about that.
yeah, if you're neuromuscular, we've got all the considerations.
Yes, Daddy. Don't worry about it.
Hey, John. Glad to meet you too, man.
Lenny.
Hey, Wheelwad. We're just talking about you.
Cool, guys. Well, what we said?
What?
That's
my brother, my older brother.
Metalibism. Metalibism?
Metalibism, yeah.
Victor ran a marathon on that swim event. That's funny. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, guys, thanks so much for anything you want to talk about, Victor? Anything else you want to talk about?
No,
that's really it.
Everything.
Games recap. Wheelwad coming up.
They Can Beatdown.
Beatdown was epic.
Living here in Raleigh.
It's been great. We're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think Victor lives in North Carolina now.
I do.
Sorry, Ecuador. Sorry, bros. We'll come visit. Well, guys, thanks for listening. And sorry it was so long until this episode.
Oh, my God.
Everybody says if they start a podcast, I'm going to come out episode a week. Most people are pretty serious about that. I apologize. I'm serious about delivering a podcast and trying to give some authentic conversations to folks that are interested to listen to in this adaptive space. But man, we've had a lot going on. I apologize. We've had a lot going on the past couple of months, and my headspace has not been in the podcast mode. I want to get back into it. I love nothing more than being able to chat with a friend. So
have a lot more.
Have another guest coming on. If you were in one of the other divisions and you want to be on It's Just a Podcast with Logan Aldridge, I would love to have you. So hit me up, send me a DM,
And
Email.
see you next time. Peace.
See you guys.
End stream. End stream.